Om Shanti. Today I started a little late, so I'll be starting the session right away. So, in today's Murli, Baba is talking about how to do things according to Srimad. Baba says today, God gave Srimad to human beings to change them into deities, for them to become the masters of the deity world. No one else can give such elevated directions. So, God, Srimad, and then the Srimad, which changes us from human to deity. And then when we change into our divine qualities, then we become masters of the deity world. So this is God's work. This is what He does. Now, there are many people in the world who think that God does everything. They say that पत्ता पत्ता भगवान की मर्जी से हिलता है. So anything and everything in the world that's happening is happening because of God. But Baba says no. There is another force called Kudrat, which is drama. So according to the drama, everything is happening. And what do? I don't control the drama. I come at the end of Kali Yuga and I give you elevated directions. And when you start changing your actions according to those directions, then you change into a deity and the world changes into a deity world. So what are those directions? So, Baba says, I teach you new karma. I don't do the karma that you do. Sometimes, people say that whatever I'm doing, God is making me do that. Yes, so you're killing, you're lying, you are stealing, all of that. God is making you do. So that's not so. So Baba says, you have been doing karma. So the doer is the soul. And until now, we were doing it on the directions of Ravan, on the directions of Maya. And I will first talk about Maya's directions. So in the Murli today, Baba uses two words. Everyone is impure and corrupt. Yes, right now, everyone is impure and corrupt. And what is impure and corrupt? So, abuse of everything is normal today. So, there is no difference between use and abuse. So, you are abusing the body, you are abusing the relationships. So, whatever power you have over relationships, you are exploiting that for sensual pleasure. You are abusing office of power to quench your greed, or you are abusing your authority over your subordinates to feed your ego. So we are abusing every right, every authority, every power we have. So the soul is working under the control of Ravan, under Maya, and we are abusing everything that we have. So I have a body, I have relationships, I have work, I have money, and I'm abusing it. I'm not putting it to the right use. And if I were pure, I would use it differently. Because I'm impure, I'm using it very differently. So Baba tells us that impurity and corruption. So these days, early also there was impurity, but there was not so much corruption. But now there is impurity and corruption also, because people are not afraid to express their impurity in action. So, these days the impurity is is making everybody so desperate that you are not even afraid of the consequences and you put it into action. So pretty much we abuse everything, right? We abuse trust, we abuse anybody who is cooperating with us. So people say that I was deceived. So who can you deceive? Only the one who trusts you. So we are all deceiving people who trust us. So so there is a lot of abuse and corruption. Now Baba says that now I tell you to, so in the golden age there is no corruption. So there is a body but there is no lust. There are relationships but there is no attachment. There are relationships but there is no lust. There is no ego. There are offices of power. There is work being done but there is no greed nor ego. So in Satyug there is no corruption, there is no impurity. But how do you transition from here to there? So how do you move from this place where there is corruption in everything to that place where there is no corruption? Because you see that when we are in a relationship where we are being lustful or egoistic, or so how do I shift that paradigm today? So I'm not the same with everybody, but I have created a sanskar of being vicious with some people and with everyone in different measures. Yes, so I've allowed myself to be angry with some people. I have allowed myself to be lustful with some souls. I have allowed myself to be greedy in some respects. So now how do I shift that? So that's the question. So now Baba teaches us the karma that will change us from human to divine. So human means vicious sanskars and divine means divine sanskars. So how do you create those divine sanskars while living in this vicious world? So Baba in the Murli today gives two specific directions. First direction is, you see everybody as a soul. So even when you are seeing the bodies, you try seeing them as souls, right? Now you see that it is not easy to not get pulled by the body of someone who you have always seen as a body. So when you see your child, he's cute, very cute, and then not seeing your cute child and seeing a soul is very difficult because you're used to seeing that cute body. You're used to, when you see those features, you get so stuck in the features that you don't find the time to see the soul, or even if you see it, it comes much, much later. So how do you shift from here to there? So Baba says, first start with seeing Baba. So when you sit before Brahma Baba, so whenever you are sitting before the picture of Brahma Baba, always try to see Shiv Baba sitting in the forehead and talking to you sitting in the forehead. So whenever you see Brahma Baba or you go to the subtle region in meditation, Then there also see Brahma Baba is sitting like an angel, and in his forehead there is Shiv Baba, and both of them are looking at me sitting behind the eyes. And I, the soul, am receiving Shiv Baba's drishti through the eyes of Brahma Baba, and I'm sitting behind the eyes and receiving it. So you have to practice this too much until you are able to shift your consciousness. So when you sit before Baba several times a day, or you always keep Baba in your awareness, then you will start shifting your awareness to I am a soul. And then when you see other people around you, it will be very easy for you to see them as souls. So this requires practice. Now, what I want to underline here is people don't know that karma is such a subtle thing. So when people talk about karmic accounts, when they talk about karam bandhan, karmic bondage, or they talk about good karma, they think that it is something very physical. So, and most people will say, what did I do? I didn't do anything wrong to this person. I didn't speak anything wrong. I didn't grab his money. I didn't insult him. I didn't do anything of that sort. But Baba says karma is not that gross. Karma is very, very subtle. So the first level of karma is consciousness and attitude. So first thing is consciousness, attitude, then vision, and then there is karma. So there is action. So the first level of karma is consciousness. So when we practice soul consciousness, when we practice remembrance of Baba, then we'll be able to shift our vision. So if we think that, just today I will try to practice seeing my child as a soul and not as my child, I may not be very successful because I have not shifted my consciousness to soul consciousness. So my vision being, my vision shifting to soul vision is very difficult. So Baba says that practice that I'm a soul sitting and listening to Baba's words. So now that you're listening to the class, always know that these words are Baba's words, and hold Baba in your buddhi. The one who is the speaker of this knowledge, hold that one in your buddhi and then listen to this whole class. Then you will be able to shift your consciousness to the non-physical dimension. So you will always be able to keep the non-physical in your awareness while operating in the physical. So Baba says this is one practice you have to do to see everybody as souls, but before that you have to train yourself to see Baba. So in yoga you see Baba, in murli you hear Baba. So when you are able to hold Baba in your buddhi while doing these things, then you will know that you are a soul doing everything you do through the body. And then seeing the other person as a soul will also become very easy. And you see that when you see a body, the body may be tall, short, young, old, cute, ugly, whatever. But when you see a soul, the soul is just 4 things. Man, buddhi, original sanskar and acquired sanskar. So when you see a soul, according to the knowledge that we have received, we know that there are only 4 things in the soul. There is a mind, there is a buddhi, there is an original set of sanskars, and there is an acquired set of sanskars. End of story. So you remember that, and then you don't focus on the how and what. You just focus on what sanskar that soul has and what you want them to be, and then you act accordingly. So you are not shocked, you are not surprised, you are not irritated. You see everything as it is. So you don't say that such a small child and he's engaging in this activity and I never thought, I never dreamed, it's coming as a shock to me. No. You know that this is a soul and a soul can have any sanskar. And I don't have to focus on what their sanskar is. I just have to determine what I want it to be. And I have to give that energy. So this soul consciousness helps you get over all the nonsense, because there is a lot of nonsense coming from the shock of body consciousness. So why are you surprised about? And it is very surprising that people are not surprised with themselves, they are very surprised with others. So just look at what your sanskars are making you do. You are engaging in the worst of behaviors and in the worst of thoughts and worst of feelings, and then you know that that is who you have become. So that's the sanskar. So then why is it so difficult for you to see that anybody in any body can be anybody? so they are just souls and they could be anyone. They could have any sanskar. Small body, big body, doesn't matter. Small age, big age, doesn't matter. Educated, uneducated, doesn't matter. It's a soul with a sanskar. And then you also remember your duty as a soul, which Baba has given you, which is to see what is and have the drishti of what you want it to be. So you hold the vision, because your vision is going to create that future. So thoughts become things, drishti says srishti. So you hold the vision about the soul in accordance with how you want it to be. That's it. So this solves many of the problems, and all that what I call nonsense is what is creating waste thought, negative thought, and that is creating additional vikarma on our part. So you will be saved from all of that, and you will be able to do the needful and settle your karmic accounts and shift from human to deity. So this is one important karma that Baba teaches us. Then there is the second karma that Baba today teaches us, which is doing indirect karma with souls. So when you are engaging with souls, keep Baba in between. Yes, and you see there are, so it's not about you and them, it's about you and Baba. So whoever they are and whatever they are, doesn't matter. You have to engage according to Baba's directions, and in that engagement you will get rewarded by Baba. So whenever you are with souls, don't do as they want you to do as Baba wants you to do, so that Baba can give you the return. And anyways, even if you go by human dictates, so people say that the society will say this and the society will say that, but the society doesn't come and save you from the troubles. Even if you think about that person if that person might get annoyed or they might not like it, but that person is not powerful enough to help you in your time of need. But the one who is the savior, the one who is the creator, is asking you to do something. And then when you do it on his directions, then Baba will give you the return. So, whose direction should you follow? Is very easy, because the directions of those who can give you the return should only be followed. So even if you follow all the directions of a human being, can he give you the return? Will he also is not the question. Can he? So can any human being ensure that you are always protected, happy, peaceful, safe? That you get 21 births of inheritance? No. If you follow the directions of the society which is listening to Ravan, and you follow all the lok laj kul ki maryada, where they tell you that you have to get married and you have to bear children, you have to do this, you have to engage in lust, and you have to engage in this and that. So if you do all of that, still can that whole social structure protect you in times of need and give you a life of happiness and peace? Can it? What do you think? So Baba says, then why do you keep following the directions of those who cannot guarantee you anything? And why are you so afraid, to follow Baba's directions, the directions of the one who is changing you from a human to a deity and making you the master of the deity world? What is it that makes you afraid? It's just a sanskar. Yes. And just because you have the sanskar of following human dictates, you keep doing that. But Baba says now it is time to have courage to go over that sanskar and do what Baba says. And then just see whether you're becoming more sure of yourself, more fearless, or you're becoming more insecure and corrupt the way you were becoming. So I will tell you one incident. So in one of the classes, I was talking about being fearless. And then there was this girl who asked me that, Didi, but sometimes, our fears are very genuine. So I said, what kind of fears? So she said that, let's say I'm into a job and my boss wants me to do something. And then I deny that, and that could risk my job. So I might be out of job, and then I might, when I lose out on the job, I have no income, and I might really be in a place of suffering. So I need the income badly. I don't belong to a family which can support me without an income. So then is my fear not genuine? So I said, you see, sister, even if you give in to that fear, so let's say your boss asked you to do something and you did it. Still, do you think that that's the end of the story? Because tomorrow again, that person will ask you to do another thing, and then he will blackmail you for what you did in the first instance. He will use that against you. So there is no way out in this situation. So you have to face something. And I will tell you one incident. There was this girl and she was pressurized into, making a tour, which was involved in, doing something corrupt. And the office pressurized her. And then when she took that tour, then the officer gathered all the, all the proofs of whatever wrong she did at his direction, and then he started using that against her, and he blackmailed her for 2 years like that. And then she had come to me, and then I told her, no, you go and tell the story from the beginning to your higher authority. And even if they give you some punishment, it's okay, because if you keep doing this, then there is no end to this. So, this is never going to end. That person is never going to leave you from his clutches. So, we must understand that if you follow human dictates, even if you, if you think that being lustful is the way in a marriage, and you continue being lustful, even then in the end moments you will have to call out to Baba. You cannot call out to the person who you listened to and engaged in lust despite Baba telling you to be pure. And when you call out to Baba, then you will not have the faith that Baba will help you in that moment, because you never listened to Baba. And that person has left you empty, spiritually empty completely, because lust robs you of your spiritual strength. So Baba says, don't listen to the dictates of Ravan. Don't listen to the dictates which is coming from the human mouth, but it is the word spoken by Ravan. And Baba says, just listen to me and live at home, but do everything according to Srimad. Be in the family. I have asked you to be detached. I have asked you to be pure. So be detached, be pure, do every karma in purity and detachment. And Baba says, for that you need a lot of power of Gyan and Yoga. So Baba today says that let your intellects be connected in yoga to the one Father, become firm in knowledge and yoga. Because this knowledge that, and I think when I think about knowledge, it's very good to remember Antmate Sogati, that I am a soul and I have to leave the body, and my final thoughts will lead me to my final destination. And so always keep knowledge in your awareness, that every soul is just a soul. They are as powerless as me. And then I am the child of God, and I have to listen to Him, not to souls. And then remembering that my final thoughts will lead me to my final destination, and my sanskars will determine my final thoughts. And only when I act on Srimad can I have powerful sanskars. And then you also have to be very deep in yoga, because in yoga, you feel the power that Baba gives you through relationships, and you feel the power of the attainments of virtues that Baba gives you. So until your heart is full with the love of Baba and with the power that Baba gives you, you will not be able to see things with clarity. So Baba says, train yourself very well in Gyan and Yoga. And even while living in the family, doing your job, whatever you're doing, don't cross the line of Srimad. Always remember that I cannot be lustful, I cannot be greedy, I cannot be attached, no body consciousness, treating everybody as a soul, and no, not coming into shock and surprise. These are the things you have to adhere to. And Baba says, if you do this much, if you follow these two main directions, then you will create soul conscious sanskars by the end of this journey. And then when you leave the body, you will be entitled to a deity world where everybody is soul conscious. And there you will not have to make effort to do this, because your sanskar will be naturally soul conscious, and you will lead a happy and peaceful life where there will be natural detachment natural purity. But in order to shift the whole paradigm, this one birth, you have to make effort. So, practicing soul consciousness, applying soul conscious vision, and doing indirect karma with souls and direct karma with Baba. So, you understand that you will always live in a context. Yes, Baba says you are not a sannyasi. You will live in a deity world, in a family. So, you will always have a family, you will always have a context, but you have to do everything in remembrance of Baba and pull out a vice from the family system. So, that vicious family system has to change into a virtuous family system. And for that, you need Gyan and Yog power, and you always have to keep Baba in your buddhi and know that whatever you are doing, the return of it has to be received from Baba, and then you do indirect karma with souls and direct karma with Baba. So this is another direction that Baba gives you. And then there is Baba's beautiful understanding of the problems in the world today. So Baba says that you have to salvage the whole world. You are the Salvation Army. So, people think that there is a war in one place, or there is a COVID situation in another place, or there is and there is some drought, some problems in some other place. But Baba says, no, these are just symptoms of the problem. So, just like, when you have a disease in the body, so there is a disease which is underlying, and there is a symptom which is a symptom of that disease. So Baba says that a good doctor will not treat the symptoms. A good doctor will try to figure out the root cause and treat that. So in the world, we have people who are finding solutions to the symptoms. Yes, so they are finding solutions to acts of lust, anger, ego, attachment, and greed. And you see, everything is an act of lust, anger, ego, attachment, and greed. So whatever problems are there in the world are acts of lust, anger, ego, attachment, and greed. And Baba says the root cause of all those acts is depleted spiritual power. So everybody is working on saving the world from the effects of those actions. But Baba is telling you that you have to, now that you have figured out what the real problem is, that souls are not powerful enough. So, people think that if I have done a wrong thing, then I need to be corrected. But the thing is, if you are not taught the right thing, you will end up doing the wrong thing sooner or later. So sometimes you're just doing the right thing because you have not yet done the wrong thing. So, when children are young, they don't do many wrong things. But if you don't sow the seed of spiritual consciousness in them, they will end up doing the wrong thing tomorrow. And then correcting them when they've already created that sanskar will become very difficult. So start sowing the seeds of soul consciousness in every human mind. So whether they are doing the wrong thing right now or not doing the wrong thing right now, every soul has vicious sanskars and the potential to do the wrong thing tomorrow. So Baba says, you start sowing the seed of spiritual consciousness in every soul. So, and everybody says that, my circumstances forced me to do whatever I'm doing. But the thing is, the circumstances brought out what was there inside you. But until and unless you make the effort to finish that vicious seed which is inside you, then sooner or later there will be circumstances which will bring it out. Yes. So how many of you don't have fear at all? So we all have fears, right? And there will be circumstances which will bring that fear out and it will turn into anxiety. So until and unless I practice soul consciousness, become fearless, I am always prone to, being anxious tomorrow. I'm always prone to being desperate tomorrow. So Baba says this world, the problems of this world is just going to increase without spiritual interference, because all those seeds of vices that are lurking inside human minds will find water in circumstances and they will germinate into vicious deeds. So you have to finish that seed by sowing the seed of soul consciousness and supreme soul consciousness, and you are the ones who have to do this task of bringing every soul to self-realization and the realization that they are God's children. And Baba says that you are the salvation army. You have to have lot of enthusiasm and intoxication to do this. Yes, you have to have a lot of enthusiasm and intoxication to do this. You know how difficult it is for a person to convince another person who is apparently healthy to adopt a healthy lifestyle. So if somebody is healthy, apparently, and then you are asking them to adopt a healthy lifestyle, it's very difficult to convince them, because they think that healthy lifestyle is for the unhealthy. Similarly, people don't realize that I'm spiritually depleted because they say I'm functioning well. But you're functioning well only under favorable circumstances. You don't know what unfavorable circumstances can do to you. So you have to have a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of will to bring a soul to realize that they are depleted despite their apparent normal functioning, and then bring them to self-realization and bring them to the practice where they feel that they have to remember Baba. And Baba says, this is how the world will be salvaged, and this is how we will all go to heaven. So you have to do this inner work. You have to do this seva with lot of zeal and enthusiasm. Okay. So this is also Baba's big Shrimad today. And so there is a question, we are ultimately souls, then how can soul be impure and corrupt? I told this in the course, and you have to pay attention to the classes if you want to learn the answers. It's not like you come one day and all the answers will be given. So this is something that we covered in the course, so you go through the course again. Soul is not a part of God, that also we have covered in the course. Okay, so soul is not soul is a permanent entity, so we are not subject to destruction. Yes, that's why we require renovation. Yes, so that which cannot be destroyed has to be renovated. If it was destroyed, it was very good. So that's why Baba is teaching us how to go back to our original sanskars. So you write on WhatsApp, I'll send you the link for the course. So you again, go through those sessions, so you'll be able to understand this. Okay, Om Shanti.